Welcome to another episode, everyone. Another Crip kills his cellmate. Another Crip in his cell in prison just 2 days ago, I believe August 11th. Dude from 88 Hard Time Hustler Crip, which falls under the neighborhood car, is dead. He gets killed, allegedly, supposedly, is all under investigation by his cellie. We just covered a few days ago where a dude from Rolling Hunted Crip, Rolling Hunteds, supposedly unalived his cellie from Rolling 40s Crip. They're in Kern Valley State Prison a few days ago. Crip on Crip, cellmates. If you're in the cell with them, it's because y'all in the same car, the same faction. Y'all supposed to be friends. Y'all supposed to be homies. These are two Crips in the cell together. They're not going to put a Crip and a Blood in the cell together. Put two Crips in the cell together from the same faction. So this dude from Hustler falling under the neighborhood car, the individual that he's in the cell with, they must be compatible until they were not. And this prison is very dangerous. And as I alluded to the other day, oftentimes the danger happens inside of the cell because you can't escape, you can't get out. A lot of the killings, a lot of the deaths that happen in prison happen inside of the cell. Oftentimes it's your own cellmate that'll take you out for different reasons. You have to be careful. This is my guy here, Respectable Rants, the YouTube channel Respectable Rants. He just dropped his content. He got the scoop on what happened just a couple of days ago with these two individuals. This man here is Tiny YC from 88 Hard Time Hustler Crip, again, falling under the neighborhood umbrella. He's the one that lost his life.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about the murder that just happened at New Folsom State Prison. But let's dive right into it. On August 11th of 2026, at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, staff was alerted that somebody was unresponsive inside their cell. And inside the cell, they found an inmate named Walter Bedell unconscious. They tried life-saving measures and activated 911. Outside medical ambulance staff came and declared him dead at 2:51 in the afternoon. And Walter Bedell is Tiny YC from 88 Hard Time Hustler Crip. In the 88 Hard Time Hustler Crip territory would be on the east side. As you can see, it stretches from East 88th Place down to 95th Street. And it would go from Avalon Boulevard to San Pedro, east to west. They would share a border with a few gangster Crips, like the 87s and the Avalons, and they would also share a border with the Swans. But the 88 Hard Time Hustlers fall underneath the neighborhood car. And as you can see right here, Tiny YC would have NH tattooed on his neck, which would stand for neighborhood, and this right here would be him throwing up neighborhood. But Tiny YC, who was 37 years old, was received from Los Angeles County on July 10th of 2008, after he was sentenced to 25 years to life for a second-degree robbery with enhancements. But he was arrested for this case on May 30th of 2007. And at first, they charged him with 10 counts of robbery and 1 count of receiving stolen property. But after sitting in the county jail for exactly a year, he took a plea deal where he pled no contest on 3 counts of robbery, and he would have the rest of the counts dismissed. And for count 1, they would give him 23 years in state prison, 3 years for the actual crime, plus 20 years for enhancements. In count 2 would be 1 year to be ran consecutive. In count 3, the same thing, 1 year to be ran consecutive. For a total of 25 years, like we said, but 20 of them years came just from enhancements. But after sitting in state prison for 15 years, he went up to the parole board in April of 2023. But he obviously didn't get parole. But 3 years after that, he would be sentenced on a whole new case that he caught in state prison on January 7th of 2026, where they gave him an additional 2 years and 8 months for manufacturing a deadly weapon by a prisoner. And he lost his life 8 months after that. But his cellmate Jonathan Blackwell was placed in cuffs and removed from the cell. And they placed Blackwell in restricted housing while they do an investigation. And this is Jonathan Blackwell, aka K-Swiss from By Yourself Gangsta Crip. And for those not familiar with...
Okay, so he from By Yourself Gangsta Crip, this individual here, the alleged culprit. He's just under investigation for the murder right now. But that's the same for the other two. They hadn't charged him yet as they do their investigation, but it's just you and him in the cell. You're going to be charged with it unless he died of natural causes. Then you're going to be charged with it. If he has any bruises, any stab wounds, any whatever. Who else did it? It's just you and him in the cell together, unless he stabbed himself up or something, So he's not charged with it in particular yet as they do the investigation, but he's going to be charged with it. And this individual here, I believe, has 356 years. But the other one had life, as we can see. Tiny YC had life in prison for some robberies. It was 10 robberies, but still, he pled to 3 of them and got life. But all enhancements, but still, you taking a deal for a life. They must have had him dead bang with those robberies. Taking a deal for life, that's just, and it's not a murder. But either way, he didn't make it out like a lot of people don't inside of these prisons and inside of these cells.
By yourself, gangsta Crip, they would be located in West LA. Blackwell, aka K Swiss, is 45, and he was received from Los Angeles County on May 26th of 2010, where he was in jail for a double murder, 1 attempt, and a few other charges. He was convicted of breaking into somebody's apartment and trying to rob them. The robbery went bad, and he killed the man, the man's daughter, and shot the man's wife. And this took place on December 31st of 2006. And on that day, 31-year-old Raul Cruz and his wife were sleeping around 4:15 in the morning. And they were woken up by 2 men breaking into their apartment on Harvard Boulevard. Raul tried to fight them off, but one of the intruders had a gun and shot him. And the shooter kept shooting and ended up hitting his 17-year-old daughter and his wife. But his 17-year-old daughter named Jessica ended up passing away. And his wife was in critical condition where she ended up pulling through. And after that, both suspects ran away after taking some belongings. But within a few hours, police would get tips and they would find one of the suspects, and his name was Matthew Kuntz. And he was arrested 3 hours after the murder.
Damn! That's crazy. What did you get? Took it, the narrator here, my guy, Respectable Ranch, said they took a few possessions, took a few items. You went here, killed the whole family. That's just sickening, man. Damn. That's cold, man. That's cold. They in here minding their business. I don't like that kind of stuff. That can be anyone. It can be my sister. That can be anyone. Sitting at home with their family. This man, his wife, and his child, 17-year-old daughter. These people come in, and he trying to fight them off because he got his family in there. He don't know what they're going to do. They might kill him anyway or tie him up, whatever. So he trying to fight them off. Probably not seeing the gun at first, however it went. But however it went, this individual draws down and unalives him, kills his 17-year-old daughter, and nearly killed the wife. She's in critical condition. Whole family. Crazy.
7:45 in the morning. And one of the people that gave a tip would be somebody named Shantz. And he would tell detectives that 20 hours before the murder, he was at his apartment with Kuntz. And he would tell them that they hung out regularly, but on that day they were catting out together. And he said on that day, Blackwell also came by, aka K Swiss, and they were both wearing black. And he also told detectives that Cruz was a plug and that they used to buy stuff off of him. But one of the times they bought something from Cruz, Kuntz complained that it made him sick. And he would say that's when Kuntz and K Swiss said that they were going to rob him. They then asked Shantz if he wanted to join, and he declined. But detectives would say that about 4 hours after that, at around 3:30 in the morning, that's when they arrived at Cruz's 1-bedroom apartment. And inside that 1-bedroom apartment was him, his wife, his 17-year-old stepdaughter, and his 9-year-old son. But everybody was woken up when the stepdaughter ran into the room, screaming out that Mouse was trying to break into the window. And Mouse would be Kuntz's nickname. And they would say that's when Cruz woke up and started struggling with Kuntz. And Kuntz had a metal bar in his hand, but Cruz was kicking and scratching Kuntz. The wife said that Kuntz had a crazy look in his face, and she looked over to the entrance, and that's when she would see a black male standing there holding a gun. And she would say that he was dressed in all black, wearing a black beanie and at least one glove. The wife then started yelling at Kuntz and saying how she's going to call the police. And she would try to grab the phone in the dining room, but ended up dropping it. And that's when the 9-year-old son...
Damn, so they knew one another then. Okay, so it wasn't a random, doesn't make it any better, but I'm just saying, wasn't a random break in and then just, wipe out the whole family. They knew each other, and he said he got sick from, they was dealing with one another, some bad business or whatever between the two. And so apparently it looks like to me, perhaps that explains why he did what he did. If he's guilty of it, he's found guilty, he had 356 years or whatever. I'm saying because the family know him. They knew who he was. The wife, the child, the 17-year-old is yelling. She saw him first and is yelling, waking up the dad. Hey, Mouse is at the window. So they know who he is. If they don't know the other dude that's in the beanie and with the glove and with the weapon, they know who Mouse is, who Kuntz is. And he knows that they know who he is. He's been dealing with him or dealing with the husband or whatever, but he probably over there where they know who he is. The family knows who he is. They yelling out his nickname and everything else. So he probably figured, yeah, I'm finna wipe out everybody. If I shoot one person, I gotta wipe out it because they know who I am. Not justifying it, not cool either way. I'm just saying it explains it more because I'm like, damn, what the hell? Just go in somebody's house and shoot them all up. But that's still what he did. But now I understand more because apparently they know who he was.
Would hear Kuntz yelling out, "Where's the money?" Kuntz would then tell the other man to start shooting. And that's when the wife ran into the kitchen, broke a window, and started screaming for help. And she would say that she saw the gunman start shooting and was the first person hit by a bullet. The 9-year-old son got scared and ran back to the bed and hid underneath the blanket. And as he was peeking out, he saw Kuntz enter the bedroom and take a wallet and walk away. And they would say that after the daughter was shot, she ran to the mother and fell on top of her. And after that, Cruz ran out of the apartment, where like we said, they both passed away and the mother survived. But inside of Cruz's apartment, detectives found a large quantity of white powder that came back positive. And they also found a glove on the floor that they're saying belonged to the suspects. And Chance would also say that around 5 o'clock in the morning, which was an hour after the murder, Kuntz arrived back to his apartment with blood on his hand. And he said Kuntz told him that Cruz was dead. But like we said, Kuntz was arrested a few hours after the murder. And they would notice in the interrogation room that he had a bunch of scratches and bruises. And they would also notice that he had a puncture wound on his hand, and it looked like an entry and exit wound from a gunshot. But K-Swiss would go on the run after this, and he wasn't arrested until 8 months later, where they found him in Oklahoma, and he was arrested in August of 2007. He would then have to sit in the county jail for 3 years, but on January 6th of 2010, he would be convicted by a jury and found guilty on every single count. And he'd be found guilty for 2 murders, 1 attempted murder, 3 robberies, and 1 burglary. And on count 1, they would give him life without parole, and that would come with enhancements. They would add on another 25 years to life on top of that. And they would also add another 30 years worth of enhancements. And that's all to be ran consecutive. Count 2 would be the same thing, life without parole, plus the same enhancements. In count 3, which is the attempted murder, he would get life. And that also has the same enhancements of 25 years to life, plus another 30 years. In count 4, which is the robbery, they would give him 4 years. But this would have the 25-year to life enhancement also, plus the 30 years. On count 5, they gave him 4 years, plus the same 25-year to life enhancement, plus another 30 years.
Damn.
And count 6 was the same thing, 4 years, plus another 25-year to life enhancement, plus another 30 years.
Yeah,
and the last count was 4 years, for a total of 352 years.
He's done. He's cooked. He's never getting out. Lucky he didn't get the death penalty. But he's never getting out. All those life sentences, all those 300-something years plus 6 life sentences he has. 356 years and 6 life sentences. So him committing a murder in there, he feels like, I'm sure, I have nothing to lose. People who have nothing to lose are the most dangerous, of course. Yeah, I don't even want to be in a cell with someone who has nothing to lose. They have short fuses sometimes, low tolerance. They're miserable. They're ready to act out. They know they're never getting out of prison, especially if you are getting out, at some point, which, Tiny YC certainly was. Even though he had life, he already been in for some time, 20 years. He had 25 of life, so they letting all kind of lifers go for murders and all that these days. Robberies, he was going to be home. Guaranteed, as long as he's not in there getting in a whole lot of trouble or what have you. But of course, now he never gets that chance. Whatever transpired inside of that cell, one man walked out and one did not. We just, again, saw this a couple of days ago, and it happens all of the time in prison. And oftentimes it comes from your own people, from your supposed to be friends, your comrades, your car, your faction, your section, if you do something wrong, or just your cellie. It may not even have anything to do with gang because they get along. It's just being in a cell and being in certain situations inside of that cell, you get into it with your cellie, no matter who your cellie is or where your cellie from, and then it escalates. It's more of a domestic situation, if you will. You and your cellie got into it, and it escalates into whatever, a fight or whatever, and then whatever. You have knives in the cell, someone pulls one out, someone loses their life.
Plus 6 life sentences. But that right there is going to wrap it up for this story, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, plus 6 life sentences, 356 years, plus 6 life sentences. There you have it, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Shout out to my guy, Respectable Rants. Check him out. And, rest in peace to Tiny YC, 8-8, Hard Time Hustler Crip. Just from the world, from a human being from the world that lost his life. That lost his life. He wasn't in there for taking a life. He was in there for a robbery. The other individual that is accused of taking his life, he's in there for taking 2 lives, nearly 3. And now he has another one under his belt, if you will, a prison homicide. Apparently feeling like he had nothing to lose with 356 years and 6 life sentences. So who knows what transpired in that cell? Could have been an argument, could have been something happening on the yard where someone didn't do what they were supposed to do. Man, take care of that. I don't know. Who knows? It's whatever happened, the man lost his life. It's prison. It's prison politics. There is no explanation for any of this stuff other than it's prison and it's hell. And you got to stay the hell out of there. That's it. Stay safe and stay free. Ooh.